Hi everyone, and welcome to the live stream. So just going to do a quick audio test as usual, and welcome. All right, let's get into it. Got a bit of an ad on here, so let's let that run its course. So I hope you're enjoying yourself. Wow, what a day in the markets. 2 days actually. Last couple of days have been a little bit quite volatile, big pullback. But with the pullback is a buying opportunity, right? So there we are. And yeah, let's have a quick look at the auction result at the moment. Day 186. We've got just under 8 minutes to go. We've got 13.64 ETH in there. The sellout is 13.03 at the current price of Axion, which has also had a big pullback with a lot of the other cryptos, but not all of them. We're going to look at that in a second. But 13.64, it's $40,000 sold out. Very cool. Another sellout regular auction. 152 million in buybacks. It's pretty nice. $32,263 is the buyback amount, so that's really cool. So the investment dividend keeps ticking over. Obviously the Axion price has come back, but so has Ethereum, and just hit below 3,000, which is pretty important support line. Obviously, we've been known for some time that the market was going to have a bit of a pullback. It had that first a mini pullback, then had a decent pullback over a 7-day period, and now it's just had another one. Obviously, we've had Elon Musk doing and Tesla doing their thing. We had Vitalik transferring out of his wallet, obviously doing some funding and work as well. And then we've just had China today talking about not having Bitcoin as a payment system and stuff like that. So you got the governments and the big billionaires and the crypto influencers at the moment. We just had a big run up right in the crypto, so we've had a bit of a rocky edges with those ones. But let's see where it goes. On exponential, of course, we're still looking in a bull run, but this is a major correction, so we have to take that into account. But it is also a buying opportunity. That's why we talked about the last couple of days we talked about this before these corrections, having some US dollars, taking profits as the market goes up, so that you're in a strong position when these buy opportunities come up. And so there we are. The other side of it is that there's been some interesting stuff. Also, we were talking about Matic and Quick. They have actually rebounded into this. They were strong last night, so if you'd got onto those, you would have made some really super gains. And then with this correction, they pulled back, but then they fired right back. So we're going to check out the Matic and Quick as well. Obviously, that's a second layer, the second layer options and cross-chain as well for Matic. And then obviously Quick Swap's second layer for Ethereum. And the fees is close to zero, and people can trade without the big gas fees. When we saw the pullback, Gwei went up to 350, 400 on the pullback, and it seems to have settled down just about now at the time of this live stream. So we've got about 5 minutes to go. Let's check the chat and see who's in the house. We've got John Atkins. Hi, Superman. Good to see you as always. Hey, it's always great to see you too, John. Hi, everybody. Gertz Lipins. Hey, Gertz. Hey, look like you're new. Let us know if you've been watching this live stream in other days or whatever. But welcome. We'd love to see some new faces as well. Patricia Steer, hi Axion, hi John, hi Patricia says John, and hi Gertz says Patricia. So Patricia's one of our great hosts from the Axion Today show, and always is around to share her love and her attention. So it's pretty nice to see Patricia in the house. I felt depressed today, worried about a bear market, and there's a big thunderstorms in Houston, Texas. Hey, yeah, well, the thing is, you're staked in Axion, Patricia, and your divs are just keep coming in day after day. So I wouldn't feel too bad about that. If you're in a pump and dump coin, you should be probably worried you're watching that stuff. A lot of people want to sell down. That's typically the wrong thing to do as well. It's better probably just to hold longer term than to sell down. Otherwise, your portfolio starts to whittle away when you keep selling down out of a big correction. Sometimes it's better just to hold, unless you're in a really rubbishy crypto. But if you're in a decent one, it's best generally just to hold. But hey, everyone has to make their own decisions. But there we are. Rob Basim's no need to be stressed, it will all go up again, says Rob. That's right, that's kind of what I'm saying too. So I have a depressing portfolio, says John. Oh no, that doesn't sound too good. Cardano TV locked on. Very cool, good to see you, Cardano TV. Welcome, it's great to see you in the chat. John Robinson, hi folks. Patricia, Hi MS Rob Beeson, I meant thanks, says Patricia. Yeah. So you're in one of the good ones. Axion is one of the good ones. That we have the auctions. You get the minimum 8% inflation, plus the auctions just keep getting sell out, and you get wrap Bitcoin too. Hey, wrap Bitcoin pulls back, goes the bear market, bull market. You've still got your wrap Bitcoin, and if you're bullish long term, that's going to be really cool. But let's have a quick look at some of the other things. We've got 3 minutes to go. Let's have a quick look what's coming up. We've got the VCA27 and coming up, really cool. More wrap Bitcoin does 107,000 sellout, so not too bad. And it's 510 million. And looks at our Friday mega VCAs down to 1.1 billion. Look at that, that's getting smaller. Remember, we had 2.1, 1.9, and now we're down at the moment, currently at 1.1. That might be a little bit higher by the time we get to it, but that's looking really good. So all smiles from me here. All right, so let's go. We've got 3 minutes to go. We're obviously sold this out. We're just waiting for that to hit. Let's go check out the markets. All right, so here we are. We've got Bitcoin broke 40,000. Whoa, we got Ethereum broke 3,000. Interesting, these psychological levels at the same place. Interesting there. And we've obviously Binance pulled back, etc. So you can see 24 hours we've got this 15 to 20% pullback. Even Binance coin pulled back even more, which is surprising given the fact that it's close to zero fees on the smart chain, and you would think that they'd be a bit more robust. So interesting there. But obviously they have, because they're an exchange, they have all these other coins on them, and they're the biggest one. They have the biggest volumes, therefore they're impacted by that. That's why we see this bigger pullback, pretty much 36 versus 29, 37 days. So definitely a major correction. Anything over 20% major correction. We've had that small one, and then two big ones which are sort of merged together, because we had a rebound and then back together. But we've ended up with 7 days about 36%, so 30 to 36% there. So pretty interesting there. Cardano obviously had a big run. They've still got big news coming out. So 172, looking for big things for that one. Probably be a bit more robust going forward, and so forth. So there's the Dogecoin. Dogecoin's down 16%, 7 days. What do we got? Litecoin obviously down 30%, and Bitcoin Cash as well down pretty heavy, 7 days, 38%. Let's have a quick look. I just wanted to go to Polygon. Polygon, we talked about this several times. This has been a star. Look at that, up 116, 15%, 20%. Look at that. It did go back below $2 and then just rebounded up to $2.40, $2.50 and within 2 hours. So that's been really awesome. That's just happening right now. I've been watching that. And then obviously related to that is QuickSwap, and that also had delay, and then it followed in after Matic as well. And so that's now up at $1,040. So pretty interesting stuff on that layer level 2. And obviously they came out with some notices as well. Just timing was perfect. Just talking about how big the volume is on layer 2 now. So pretty interesting stuff going on there. So I thought I'd bring that to your attention, since it has been a topic. We've been talking about some tokens which we think that have been undervalued, that are big, that have got big economic energy to them, and actually provide solutions to the market as well. So hopefully that's been quite helpful. Let's go back to the Axion Today dashboard. So this is where we are. We're down to 35 seconds, folks, and this is auction day 186. We're about to start auction day 187, which is VCA27, and we've got 510 million Axion in there, worth about 108 million. Sorry, yeah, they're worth about $108,000, not 108 million, $108,000. So pretty big there. And we've got some other stuff we're going to look at as well. We've got 14 seconds. So as we roll over to the new auction, we'll wait to that refresh. Take about a minute. But pretty awesome day. Another sellout, hotcakes regular auction, and we're about to start a beautiful number 27 VCA. It's going to be pretty interesting to watch that one sell out. And we're going to go talk about the price, Axion price, and a pullback opportunity. And we'll get into that too. Hey, welcome to everybody. Please subscribe, like, and share. Hit the bell for further notifications. I hope you enjoy this daily live stream where we look at Axion auctions, because it is hot to trot. There we are. We just finished that auction there. We're going to wait for it to reset. Probably take a few seconds, and we'll wait for that. This is the official Axion dashboard, and this is the Axion Today dashboard. So you can use either of them. They're both great. They give you slightly different information. They're both in the video description link below, so you can get those, especially if you're new to Axion. That'd be useful for you. You can just put your MetaMask wallet, your ETH address in there, and you can see your details as well. Very cool. Interesting thing was when the market did pull back, we had that Gwei went rocketing to 350, 400, and that's probably why Matic and Quick have both jumped after they pulled back. They both jumped up, probably because they basically their classic solution to that. So interesting stuff. They did have some tweets out as well to push that price back up. So interesting stuff going on there after they rallied. So 2 rallies within 24 hours. Pretty epic stuff for those two. Yeah, it's always interesting looking for value in a crypto, especially at a bull run. And we've had obviously some pullbacks now. We're going to have a look at the logarithmic charts as well. It gives you a better idea of long term. Let's just refresh this page now. I think we've given enough time, and hopefully that's going to update for us. There we are. Boom. So auction day 187, 19th of May, VCA27, 510,690,000 Axion up for grabs, $107,234, and we got 32.74 ETH to sell it out. And let's watch and see whether we get it sniped as typical, because the VCA has been getting pretty much sniped too, like the regular auctions. Had some tweaks. We're supposed to have some votes coming up for Axion, and they seem to be a bit delayed, but I'm sure they're coming, and we'll be in good shape by the time they do it. So it's tricky stuff, formulating those votes and restructuring certain things or changing certain things. So we're going to look for that as well. But that's where we're at. Currently the Uniswap price is just under 14 million per ETH, so we're still up at those record levels at the moment, and the auction rate is 14.4 million. It looks like it hasn't been reset properly with the price there. We might reset that one more time. But anyway, let's get back into the chat as well. I don't want to miss out on that. So let's have a look here. You're welcome, says, yeah, John Robinson, false rumor on China banning crypto, which is false and a repeat of 2017 FUD. Yeah, apparently the specifics were that China's central bank was going to look to ban crypto payments. So that was what I saw in the update. So whether that turns out to be true or not. Now, obviously, governments want to control, I mean, it's a foolish errand, but they want to control crypto markets because they can't control decentralized things, so they want to have control of that, especially authoritarian governments. But the thing is that the only way they're really going to be able to enforce that is by making harsh punishments. Obviously, authoritarian governments can get away with that sort of stuff typically, but that's the easier one to do. They can also do it indirectly through the tax department, so we'll just have to keep watching that. But obviously Bitcoin has pushed through all those before. It's had all those things, but it just depends on how extreme those things go. But once again, decentralized will continue to live on and flourish. It is kind of the freedom for the people, decentralized, and I wish our democracies were decentralized. Probably a bit easier to run in some ways. So there we are. All right, so Cardano TV, it's all good when you're in Axion. When we come out the other side, these dips are just like being in a boat that is riding the waves of a heavy storm. That's so true, Cardano. Morning, Robbie. Morning. Hi, Patricia, says John. Rob Beeson says it's a celeb crowd. It certainly is a celeb crowd in Axion. So I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. I think you guys are starting to see just all the awesome ecosystem being built out in Axion, and it's sort of like stake long term. Sit back and relax. That's and enjoy the momentum. So very cool. Sure, our divs and sats will go up again. That's right. Patricia says, hi, Robbie. Cardano says, good morning, Patricia. Robbie Davidson is in the house. Welcome, Robbie. Good to see you in the house there. And I think it's definitely time for KFC soup, man. You must be dreaming of it every night. How can you resist for so long? It's finger licking good, man. Hey, I'm with you, Robbie. I appreciate the mind control. It's the Battle of the Minds. What's that superheroes one with the electromagnetic mind and the other guy? I can't remember now. I always forget names, so that's unfortunate. But there, the battle continues. Patricia says, haha, hey, Patricia Cardano, says Robbie. Morning, Rob. And Robbie says, it's tempting Superman with the KFC chicken. Yeah, he is. I do like Taco Bell at the border. I remember when I was in America, I went there and I felt that was quite fun. When you go to America, and if you're from another country, when you go to the food places there, it's like this every place is like going to Disneyland. It's really weird because America's kind of bigger and larger than life, and for people that are not living there. I mean, so when you just go for a restaurant, it's like being larger than life, and you're sitting at this thing, everything seems bigger and grander. So it's quite an interesting experience for somebody that's not born and raised in America. There we got chicken there. Morning, Cardano TV, Food TV. Well, I never thought we'd go back to 00021 again. Hey, Food TV, you're right. It is quite amazing. We will check that out in a second. Inga Peterson and Food TV is hi, Patricia. Hyper TV, John Robinson, Patricia Steer, just like our upcoming Axion Vision 3, you could put your high wishes in just one word. Nice one there, John. It's a clever. And Food TV, still can't believe people willing to sell this super low. Yeah, it's panic selling, and they think that they're preserving their wealth. But like I say, it's probably better just to hold it and let the price of the market just do its thing. And obviously, if everything fundamentals are going well, then eventually the price will catch up. We know that prices are based on the marginal price, and so that you just have to wait till the momentum turns. Love your personal highs for sure, says John. And Mr. Feroz is in the house. Welcome, Mr. Feroz, all the way from India. Great to have you. Hi, sir. Welcome to Axion World. Inga Peterson's in the house as well. And good to see the northern countries represented. Hi, Patricia and John Atkins. Clever, John R., but not so much love in one word. Yeah. Gertz is in the house. Lipton's CBC, China's boiled chicken. Yeah. Let's not talk too much about that sort of stuff, because that's seen some pretty weird stuff from there. Little joke, John Atkins, says John. So yeah, pretty cool. This is what we're waiting. 32.65 ETH to sell out. Let's go check out the Axion price. We talked about a few others. Let's check out Axion, and you can see that it's at 0.0021185. And let's go into the chart. We've got 7.5 million liquidity, 418,000 daily volume, which is still small, still on the small side. 1,257 ETH and 17.6 billion Axion in the pool. So obviously we want to get a bull run on Axion to flip those. Now there has been a few ideas toted around about that. We'll see how they manifest in the future. This is the 15-minute chart. So we were sitting here at 0.0026, and obviously when the market started pulling back, we just kept going down all the way down to 0.00206. So we really hit that 222 mark. We keep hitting new lows. It is unfortunate, but like I say, all the rest of Axion's fundamentals are all bullish. The only thing that's been holding it down is the Axion price, and like I say, eventually that's got to give, and we just need to get that momentum turning around. Some big news, perhaps other things like that might get it down. Liquidity squeeze will get it down. Big news would get liquidity squeeze down. Some targeted tactics would also help with that. So we'll see how those evolve, and watch the space on that one, I think. Let's have a quick look at the daily candle, and this gives us a bigger, we'll sort of pull back and have a bigger look. And we can see that obviously we've broken all those support lines, and we're back down to our previous support lines in here, way back at the beginning when we were moving sideways, and down here we're also, obviously we've got the market big pullback there going on at the moment, so that sort of helps drive that down. And we need, what have we got, 163, we're right in the negative CCI, obviously negative on MACD, and we've just got to wait and see now. We just have to wait and see where the market's going to send it at the moment. But like I say, some big news. I think Axion Vision 3 is certainly a catalyst for that, and some new marketing sales tactics as well, particularly around liquidity. Liquid markets would be interesting, so watch the space on that one, and there's lots of other things coming up as well, so we'll just, but in the meantime, all the stakers are earning their divs, and it's all sweet, so just bite it out. Markets do go up and down, and that's just the way it goes. Some tokens are in favor one day and then out of favor the next, but Axion is a staking token, so it's here for the long haul, so just just brace yourself and hold on through. All right, so let's quickly go to we're just going to go from here. We're just going to go to the general here. We'll just see on this one. Not even sure where I was there. All set and waiting, says Cripple. Nice one, Cripple. Very cool. Let me go up here to the news. Just want to check the announcements. Haven't had a chance to check them today, whether something came out. Don't believe anything came out today. No, the last thing was yesterday's Axion Today show, which was excellent. If you haven't seen that, go and watch that about Axion Vision 3, which is going to be a major game changer for Axion. All right, let's go back to the Axion Today auction. So here we are 10 minutes in, folks, still waiting for some ETH to come in. It may or may not get sniped, obviously, with the big pullback just happened in the last couple of hours. We'll just have to see how the market just starts to settle at the moment, and where we're at the moment on here. We're looking at Ethereum, still sitting just under 3,000, just under 40. We'll see what it does. And let's go into the Ethereum chart. This, I think, is what I was actually going to do. Let's look at the exponentials. Obviously, if we go max data on the chart, We can see that our all-time high was only 7 days ago. So this is markets for you folks. 7 days ago, we finally have a big, we finally do have a big sharp pullback there that does resemble something like back when we after had the bull market on the 12th of January 2018, and we had that first big pullback sharp, and then that went through to the 18th of January. So it does kind of resembles that on the linear chart. And then obviously we had a little pullback there and come back. So we'll see what this market does. Things are a lot different. We have institutions, we have a lot of wider, more adoption. We'll just see how that plays out though. And obviously the US dollar is actually devaluing. Inflation starting to come back. That's a big deal. Obviously the money supply has been is basically way over printed. And that is technically inflation, so we'll watch that flow on. That will flow on into prices, and we've already started to see that into prices as well. So that does bode well for Bitcoin and stuff, because people will start basically the central bank in the US is basically buying back its own dollars, because other countries are now seeing that as worth less, and so we'll see how that goes. But that's pretty much what's happening there, and it's going to be interesting. That should support Bitcoin longer term. Like I say, Bitcoin has shrugged off many things. It does get hit by it in the short term, but it's shrugged off many things as well. So we've got that play. Let's go to the logarithmic channel. The logarithmic chart, and you can see on the logarithmic it doesn't look so big. The pullback doesn't look so big, does it? So here we in 2017 we went from $1,000 up to 20,000. Right? Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase. I thought I was on the Bitcoin line, but we're on Ethereum. So we were up here at we were well lower actually. We were quite low on January. We were like at $10, and then it went to $1,000 by the end of the year. So pretty amazing there. And then obviously pulled back here, touched down to the $100 mark, and then it's all rallied up to 4,000. Was it 4,300 or something like that? Doesn't quite show on this chart. And then we're pulled back down just below the 3,000 now. Which doesn't quite show on this chart either from the looks of it. So I think that could be just another little dip, like one of these ones, and we've still got plenty of room to move up. But we'll see what the market does, but I think that we're still well into the bull market at the moment, and we'll see how the market decides to shrug off these events that we had over last week. We did have a pretty good run, and we'll see whether that just needs a bit of a breather, and that if we hold these marks around just under 3,000, and we jump back there, we may go back a bit further, back into the like 2,300 something. Bitcoin may go back a bit further into down to 32,000 is kind of the pullback mark where a couple of people have made comments about. So we'll see whether that goes as well. Let's jump back to the auction. Don't want to miss any ETH come in there. We're 15 minutes in or 14 minutes in. No ETH in there at the moment. Let's jump over to the Axion dashboard. Just make sure we capture that as well. That's where we're at there. And we'll jump back to here. We'll go down to the chart. We'll max share this Bitcoin now we're looking at. We just jumped from Ethereum. And obviously Ethereum's much different from what it was in 2017, 2018. It really is a much bigger economy. But as we know, that the marginal price is what determines markets, and that can be moved easily with a sell-off. And once selling starts, people start selling down on top of each other, and that's how you get these big sharp candles moving down. Yeah, so there's Bitcoin. Bitcoin looks far more dramatic on the linear. If we go to the log scale, it's still quite big, but not as serious as we saw. So if we go back to 2017-18, we'll go back to the beginning. We were at 1,000, and then we went up over to the 20,000, which you can't clearly see on here. And then we obviously came back there down to 3,500, and then we obviously took a while, moved sideways for a while, and then we moved up, and we up to 50, or we went up to 63,000 or something around there. 64,800 it's got there, so we're 40% down from that. So that's a double major correction. That's 20 and 20. That's double major correction. But on the logarithmic chart, that could be a nice breather and move back up. I still think we've got plenty of run there in the road there. So I still think we've got a good chance we might challenge 70, 80,000, but it might be a bit longer, take a bit longer now to get there. So maybe we'll have shorter pullbacks, maybe 40%, 60%. Typically, obviously, you can get up to 85% pullbacks. We'll see what happens there. I still don't think we've quite run that course, and we'll see how we play that out. But I think we're going to have shorter bear markets if we do get into bear markets, and we'll see there. So if we get a 65% pullback, that's definitely in bear territory, obviously.
and so we'll see how we go there. Actually, look at the all-time low there. It's got on here, 2013, $67. Woo! Man, I would like to pick up Bitcoin at $67. Anyway, let's go back to the auction here and check out some of the comments in the chat there. Gert says it's just stupidity. Who sells now? That's true. I like the joke and it was clever. Hi Patricia. Hi Mr. Faraz. And dollars is going down. That's true. 1 ETH bid with fast gas costs $250 at the moment. Youchie. Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about the gas, so it's a really good point. Let's look at that. I did comment about it at the beginning, but let's have a look at the gas at the moment. Oh, not sure where I got there. So let's have a look. Gas. The Gwei. So the Gwei's still up high. This is super high, like say $250. It's a really good observation. So super high at the moment. That is also going to hinder the auctions unless you got a quite a big bidder going in. Let's see what that is on the moment. So doing a swap at the moment on is between $60 and $85 on Uniswap. And that is pretty big. So, and if we look down at some of the smart contracts stuff that are a bit more intensive, you're looking, probably definitely up there. So what, $200 for OpenSea? So that's probably similar to the auction, $250 you said. So yeah, it's kind of up there at the moment where that is. So obviously we'd like this to. The auction runs 24 hours, so it may not sell out. People may not enter in the first hour, but wait for the gas prices to come down over the 24-hour period. And if the market calms down, which it looks like it kind of is, let's have a look at the moment. Well, I say that, but the market can do what it wants. Let's go back up here. Obviously, if Bitcoin keeps slipping below 39, then you're going to have another move down, if it keeps sliding down. That's what happens. It's just the way it works. But that's a pretty massive correction in a couple of days, and we'll see where it goes to from there. Let's have a look here. Yeah, unreal, says Gertz. Absolutely. I got a few more people who wants to join Axion, but gas fee hold them back. Yeah, well, Axion version 3 is going to change that, isn't it? So it's going to be a couple dollars either side. So for 200 Gwei, I think it was $6 to $8, 200 Gwei. If it's obviously the Gwei's down at 30.50, then you're looking at what, a dollar or two. So it's going to be pretty groundbreaking, the Axion version 3 for staking, and auctions obviously are going to be dramatically lower too, because they're addressing the storage issue and doing that one name convention as well, and a few other things, taking out the loops, all that sort of stuff. They have to loop through every day of the stakes, so big game changer stuff happening there. And obviously wrap Bitcoin's already is the cheapest thing to do, pull out, but that's going to be even cheaper. So interesting stuff there. All right, we're back at the auction. We've got 19 minutes into the hour, looking pretty good. When's those changes coming? By the end of Q2, so by the end of June is the expected time. Obviously, software, the team's typically early, but obviously software can have, when you're doing something of that scale, can potentially take a little bit longer, but Q2 is the official time frame. You can watch the Axion Today show. They had Defro and the Defro brothers on there and explaining the maths, some of the basic stuff behind it with the binary and with the storage and stuff like that. So you can watch the Axion Today show. That was on just the other day. Very excellent, really insightful, and those guys are helping to take Axion to that next level. Very cool. All right, almost 20 minutes in. Hope you sit back, relax, get a hot cocoa as usual, or beverage, maybe a few snacks, burritos. Robbie, maybe you can get some burritos. Oh, making jokes here. This is terrible. Anyway, so let's do a bit of a wrap up of some of the overall stats at the moment. So total supply is 274.4 billion. We got liquid is 44.8 billion. Now 3 billion of that is one of the foundation wallets, and today one of our whales on the Whale Watch, one of their stakes came out, $1 billion, and that came out. They've still got 3 billion staked. It's one of these whales. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's this one here. I think it's this one here. So I'm not sure what's happened with the billion. It may have gone back in. I think it's this one. Yeah, I think it's this one here, but they had $1 billion come out, so I'm not sure where that's gone. I haven't been focusing, but anyway, we've got 229.5 billion staked, and we're at 83.63, including that dev wallet. So it's actually higher if we take out that 3 billion. So 786 is our crypto rank, and total stakes 24,230, a 9.15 million average stake size, 2,255 days average stake length, and the market cap is 19.35. The share rate is 1.1495. Boy, we're almost at 1.15, so that's just slowly creeping up there. And obviously, the earlier you stake, folks, if you're new to Axion, the earlier you stake, the more shares you get. And that's why when you do a stake, it's basically an investment. But staking is the same as an investment. But what happens is that you get your Axion tokens, you put them into the stake or investment for like a term deposit. But the actual tokens get destroyed. They get taken off the market pretty much. You get them back at the end, plus interest and plus any dividends that you get at the end of your investment term. But staking is kind of different. It's basically put your tokens in for a fixed period to get certain interest and dividends, and then but they actually get destroyed when you open them up. And in exchange for those tokens, you get shares. That's why the share rate is so important, because that's how it works. So we'll have a quick check of that as well. So there we are. So that's going up, and obviously we've got the auction on at the moment, VCA number 27, and look at those rates there, 14.4 million per ETH. I'm sure that these, once we get past this phase of low Axion prices and huge high Axion per ETH auctions, we'll look back and go, wow, man, I wish I'd picked up heaps more bags at that stage. It's always easier to look back and see that, but it's going to be interesting. Right, let's go to the overview as well. We've got 557 billion shares in Axion, so that's the main game in Axion, is to get as many shares as you can, and then you get more of the reward pool. So that's the main game there, and we're up to 557 billion Axion shares, which is pretty incredible. Obviously got big paydays coming up. The first one's 29th of October. That's 5 billion Axion is going to be distributed, and that goes accordingly. And you only get those, of course, they go into the investment, so you only get them at the maturity of your investment period. So if you've got one that happens to mature a day after this, then you can collect all those in proportion to the shares that you had. Otherwise, if you've got max stake, you'll get them at the end of the max stakes. Now they are going to have looking at NFTs in the Goldilocks period. Looks like that could be sooner than later too, is the word on the street, that the NFT side of it possibly could be earlier, or some related solutions to deflation and trading max shares. So watch out for that. That's going to be interesting. It's just a word on the street. I haven't seen much more than that. There may be a bit more detail, but I haven't seen it. But that's the word on the street, so we'll watch out for that. So heaps of stuff coming up there. Now, Max Share Club, 108.92 billion Axion, and the Max Share Club, 7,586 stakes, looking really good for that. We're at 109.05 wrapped Bitcoin, and 79 has been cashed out. So that's where we started there at the moment, and now we're to start this VCA27, and that should help lift us up there. We're going to have a quick check of the comments there, so I don't get too far behind. John Robinson's version 3 needs rigorous testing. Its mistakes has big consequences. Devs think it can be released still into Q2. John Robinson, you're absolutely right, and so that's just reinforcing the fact that that does need to be tested and all that stuff quite rigorously. Obviously, today apparently Uniswap version 3 has had a lot of issues, and not a lot of issues, it's had some issues, and so it's been a bit buggy, but we'll see how they work through that. John, obviously, it's a lot of the time people launch software, it always has some bugs that they got to fix somewhere, typically. Gertz, June, okay, thanks. No, you're welcome. John Robinson, OX77 had 1 billion unstaked and moved to OXF7, where it is sitting liquid. So that's clever, isn't it? So they hide it somewhere else, right? And then it doesn't. They're not on the whale watch, right? That's clever. Now they probably know they're on the whale watch list. They probably know that, John. That's why they do that. They move it. Typically, I look at those when I see the movements, but I just haven't got around to looking at that one today. But good observation, John. You're a good detective. Gertz, over 40% stake for 5555 days. Yeah, that's huge, right? We have Axion stands out, as far as I know, alone with such a high organic, and I use that word very carefully, organic staking, because we have a huge long-term stakers. We don't have a managed staking setup, which I'm all for managed staking setups too. I'm just saying that Axion stands alone with organic. It means people are choosing to do those things based on the incentives in front of them, as opposed to having a certain amount of supply being managed to give the same results. So obviously we want to get to our staking. If we got that liquidity squeeze on and we got our staking up to 95%, we'd be in a much better spot to be able to get that parabolic price rise. We're not there yet, but there's quite a few initiatives coming up, and obviously version 3 will help with that as well, lowering the barriers to entry in terms of transaction costs. So we'll watch out for that. But to get there is a much better. But if we can get there, that's one of the key, well, probably the most fundamental outcome to get that parabolic price rise. Because, like I say, price is really based on the marginal price. So you just need to be able to get that snowball effect going. And yeah, so that's pretty interesting stuff there. All right, so we're just waiting for some ETH to come in there, and we did a nice wrap up. I was going to look at some of the activities as well. Actually watching some of the quick prices and stuff just to see where they're at. I'm trying to get actually pick up some more Ethereum via that way at the moment with the ratio differences. So here what we had 5 hours ago. Actually, this hasn't got. Is that the last transaction we had 5 hours ago? That's interesting. Normally we don't have such a big gap like that, but anyway, we had 76.3 million. Obviously the gas prices went up really high, so that's probably what's impacted it. And when the gas was at 400, so that's why we got a big gap there. So 70. Last one we had was a crab upgraded to a dolphin. These are wonderful to see. These we had a shrimp go up to a fish, and they're max sharing that. So really nice there. Look at that. It's beautiful to see that happening, and that bodes really well. Obviously a shark there, max staking as well. Looking good. That was 7 hours ago. And a few other ones there doing some other stuff. We had early unstaked 40 million. Look at this one, completed 400 million. I'm not sure what that one's doing, but hard to sit around there. I think we had about 20 accounts or so, 20, maybe 25 accounts, somewhere between 20 and 25 that are up to, say, about 150, 200 million in them that are sitting liquid. Here's that billion one. This is the whale that we were talking about. That's the one that's on our whale watch list. They got 4 billion. They had 4.7, so I'm not quite sure what's been going on there. But they withdrew some there. It was matured, and as I say, it looks like they've moved that to another address. So that might be something to watch out for sure. Yeah, and then we obviously had all those bids coming in from the previous auction. So let's go back to the current auction, and we'll check that out. So we'll just try and stay there now. We're 28 minutes in. And it's almost KFC time, Robbie. Almost KFC time. Rob Beesons, anybody know why the dashboard isn't updated yet with the accurate auction prices? Yeah, let me just refresh that and see whether we can do it again. Sometimes it's the API, just it's not updating. It's over there. Oh, you're right. Still not reset there. Let's go back to the Axion auction there, and we'll see whether that's 14. Let's see. Let me refresh this page. 14. Well, they all look the same, but that's the auction price hasn't got the discount there very clearly for some reason, or at all. I can't do the calculations to confirm the numbers, but that's where we're at on there. Let's reconnect there. And boom. Alright, so we've still got a record day as 15.3 million Axion per ETH. That was on the 15th of May. That's still our record now. But look at this week. Has been just some really good results. So we know that quite a few people that watch this live stream have got benefit of that. So that's cool. And they just have to bide their time till the market turns. And there, obviously, we've got the big mega VCA on Friday coming up, 1.1 billion Axion at the moment, with the regular auction tomorrow. So watch out for that. That's where we're at. So 32.57. It's got 32.25. There we are. We'll just see where that lies. All right. We'll just have to wait. Yeah, I don't know. Axion Today Show might know, but let's quickly check back on the Axion price. So just 0.0021184. So near the bottom there. It's always picking the bottom's always the key, but obviously with these major market pullbacks, don't know that's happening there. Let's look there and scroll down. Yes, the only one that's really held up is the Polygon one, the Matic one, which we talked about. So that's pretty amazing. Down 8.3, but it actually is rallied, so it's sort of a bit misleading. And what else is in the top 100 that looks greenish at the moment, the last 24 hours to hour? Only really Matic, really. Sushi's a little bit up there. Yeah, Sushi's not too bad. Sushi's holding up reasonably well. What else? Yeah, in the top 100, that's really the only ones that are happening. The Matic and the Sushi there that are holding up. Oh, Tether's holding up. That's a little joke there. Yeah, let's hope that doesn't really slide. If we don't really want to slide from here, otherwise we're going down another 4 or 5 grand. If it slides from 39 this mark, yeah. So we'll watch it. But yeah, and the Gwei's up here at the moment with the Gwei, so we'll watch that. We may not get a bids in directly until the auction, until the market, maybe perhaps the auction, at least the auction. Sorry, the Gwei comes down. We might have to wait for that. It's still up reasonably high, and people have 24 hours to enter, so they might just wait till a bit later. I have a theory that banks and other financial institutions are now allowed to enter crypto. So my thought was these leeches are doing everything to get the market lower. They do that. So Wall Street was obviously had big numbers into crypto. So given that all the other markets are pretty overheated, the stock market, etc., stuff like that. So you're probably exactly right on to that one, John. But like I say, it does take a couple of years for them to fully come on. But that would probably be, some people will probably be second guessing. But the financial markets, they'll go for it. Anything that's got incentive in it, they'll be in for it. But some of the bigger investing houses, some of the big mutual funds, super funds, those sort of things, some of them may be thinking twice about it, especially with some of the tweets going around, some of the volatility. But they may pick up a basket. Those are probably the best ones that super funds probably would. If they probably may put 1% if they had a risky fund, put a bit more, and then they'd find some sort of weighted basket of cryptos that gave them a good upside without much volatility to the downside. So they'd probably have a lot of stable coins and stuff like that in there as well. Like switching around. So Axion is very much alive. Go. Yeah, so that's what my stuff for us says. Now I wonder, Margogo says Axion is dead. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Dead in your brain. Well, just actually, I'm going to remove that. It's a bit negative. We don't need such negative chat in the chat. Kurt says your brain is dead. Yeah, we'll move that one too. Appreciate the sentiment, but we'll try and keep the conversation positive. Yeah. Axion is not dead. Axion is doing very well indeed. The price is obviously not up to where we would like it, but all the fundamentals are working well. If you're staked, you're getting your dividends, you're getting your 8% inflation, and the price will take care of itself. Yeah, bullish fudders in here. Yeah, well, we don't often get fudders in the chat, but when we do, we move them on. Just if you make another comment like that, we will have to, put you in timeout. But once again, Axion is typically just pushing along. There's 109 wrap Bitcoin. Shows you how good the Axion is doing. And so that's pretty amazing. That doesn't even include the Axion and plus also the IEOs and also other stuff like that. So Axion is expanding out into its assets. Really is taking on, evolving from a certificate of deposit to a mutual fund type approach. And that bodes very well for investors. Let's have a quick look on. I was going to have a quick look on. Let's pull out of here. We'll see. Hex is at the moment is 0.51. Did fall down to 4.9 cents. It was holding up there quite a bit of time, but then it did have its own pullback. It's come back quite a bit. What else is going on there? So I see Quick was doing 160. Now it's down to 992 in about a minute. So there we are. And the Wise is at 57.6, which obviously gets impacted by the Ethereum price. Because it's linked to it, and so yeah, that's what's going on in the marketplace. And Axion's at 0.0020869. You can see a few buys in there at the moment coming in. Let's see if familiar any of those dresses. No, not familiar with any of those ones. And the Gwei is obviously still pretty high. But obviously Axion is the only one, once version 3 comes out, that's going to have a solution on the actual ETH chain to deal with that if you're into the long-term staking class. So it's going to be pretty epic to do that. So really cool. It's coming up. So we're looking good on all those fronts. Gert's looking sorry. Hey, that's all right, Gert. So it was just we just might as well just delete those comments when they come in rather than respond to them. Axion is very much alive, Margot, says Mr. Prize. You're absolutely right. Axion is alive. So yeah. Once again, when these prices do pull back, you can DCA down and pick stuff up as it goes down and get more bags. Obviously, if it goes down further, you can DCA in a bit more. It's just about allocating stuff. That's one strategy that people do. Sometimes people will just wait a week and see how the market lays. They may not be able to pick up the deals, of course, if the market decides to go back up. This is crypto, folks, so you get a lot of that. But Axion's, like I say, Axion's one of those better ones because you get your divs coming in, and the auctions are 24 hours a day, so that makes it much easier to time the gas fees as well generally. And once version 3 comes out, man, it's game changer time. It's just, we won't even be talking about gas most of the time. It'll be very rare that we end up talking about the gas prices and Axion. Obviously, it will still be a longer term problem, but obviously this is going to be fixed dramatically down. Like I say, 200 Gwei will get down to $6 to $8 somewhere like that, and then once for staking, and then once Ethereum 2.0 comes down, that's going to increase the transactions from max 25 per second up to scaling up through the shards up to around about 100,000. So that's going to be interesting. But so that pushes any issues out quite far. So it's going to be quite dramatic. That. But like I say, scaling still needs layer 2 solutions for true scaling. You can have side chains, and then obviously those scaling solutions are also going to have cross chains. That's why we'll be talking about Matic lately a lot more, because obviously all the customers are coming on there. They're not just doing second layer for Ethereum, but they're also doing cross chain and with the bridges as well. So you can see how that scales pretty fast, and everybody's jumping on to them. And you can see that obviously people think that solution, that the solutions they're providing are pretty epic. So that's why we've been watching that, and yeah, you watch that, I reckon it's just going to keep going up in time and value. So there we are. Let's see this hold. It'd be really positive to see Bitcoin and Ethereum hold at this level, and then just hold there, and then slowly just move back over the 40,000, over the 3,000. That'd be very, very good, and sort of affirmation of a bull market still going to keep going. We had a strong pullback, but we're going to get that move back up again. But of course, the alternative is going down to 65 to 85% pullback, which would mean obviously moving into the bear market for sure, especially once we cross that 50% mark. So I'm not sure if there's any technical definition of the crossover, but some people like to use certain charting stuff for that. Let us know in the chat if you've ever heard of any sort of mathematical percentage turning point. I would have thought 50% would be a turning point, but obviously moving below our previous high would be another one. So if we went below 20,000, obviously that would be the case. I imagine we would never go back to 3,500. So 60, whatever 60 is. Let's go in here. I don't actually have that on the chart, I don't think. Yeah, we don't have that on the chart. So interesting stuff. We're still up at 311% in a year for Bitcoin. So right, let's get back into the auction here. Don't want to miss anything. So we're 40 minutes in, folks. So this is quite different. Obviously, we've got some very different conditions today. We've got a pullback today. We've got high ETH prices, and so that's going to limit the opening hour. We won't have the typical sellout sort of stuff or near sellout stuff. So we'll watch that, or at least a big chunk going in there. But over 24 hours, that gives a lot of time for the gas prices to calm down, the market to calm down, and we'll see when the ETH starts coming in at that stage. But the Gwei's up at like 200, 100. It's very expensive to get in unless you're quite a large entry, like 10 ETH or 5 ETH or something. We'll watch out for that. Mr. Froz, yes sir, auction is only 2.68% cheaper than Uniswap. Yeah, that can't be right. It's got to be an error there. I'll just refresh it again, but it's got to be an error. I don't have the, I guess I could try and work it out, but let me just let me go to the Getting the calculator out here. It's not a silent pause. I kind of is a silent pause, but I'm not sure my calculator's disappeared. I opened it up, but it's not. Oh, there it goes. Let me see that. Let me jump on that. So 2975. Someone else probably going to work this out faster than I am. 123 208 69. Well, that says 14.2 for 14.25. So what have we got on the actual thing? 14.25 is the market rate. It just depends what price you use, right? But 14.25, so that's all looks a bit different anyway. So that should be even higher. So what would that be? Times 1.1. It should be showing at 15.6, something like that. So if you agree, give me a thumbs up there. That should be showing at about 15.6, 15.7. John, yeah. Sir, BTC bull market over, or BTC will make new all-time high. Yeah, like that's what we were just talking about, Mr. Farage, saying that maybe if it comes back 50%, we're definitely into the bear market at that stage. I guess if you start making lower lows, and then that starts to affect it as well. So get below 50% lower lows, which we're obviously getting. The next you've got to get sort of that lower low as you go down. Not sure if we're at this one. Sorry, I don't mean to be jumping around too much, but we're at 39.6. It says 40 now on it, on a 39.792. That's weird, but once again, max. We'll go back to this max again, and you can see obviously we've got a dramatic pullback here at the moment with the spike down to 40,000, and so what's that off 60, 20? That's a 33% pullback. So you know, that's pretty dramatic. If we go much further than that, then we're certainly we will be looking at the big chance of moving into a bear market. But actually, on the log scale, we've probably got quite a bit of room to move. Maybe this is the max of the pullback. Maybe it could go back to 32,000 and then bounce off that, as I said earlier, and then start moving up. We'll watch that. So 32 pullback would be 50%, wouldn't it? So if it bounces off before 50%, that'd be pretty decent. And obviously, if it goes down to 60, 66 or something, then that's really basically we're back in the bear market there. That's the end of the bull market. But the market can do what it wants. The market can surprise you in crypto. Obviously, we've had if you look at this chart, we've had an extended period. Like in the previous bull, we only had a couple of periods there. What's that, between 6th of December and say 2nd of January? So just that's like just about a month. Whereas here in this bull market, we've been up for February, March, April, a couple of months, probably 2 to 3 months up here, which makes it quite a different play to the previous bull one. So things are different at the moment, that's for sure. It's not exactly the same replay there. Yes, I hope that gives a bit of help there, Mr. Farage, on that. Obviously, no one knows the future, but that looks to be the case at the moment. We obviously had a few hits there with the Elon Musk and the Chinese government and the Vitalik and stuff like that, just but the bull market had been sitting there had been showing some weakness as well in the volumes for BTC, so that's not surprising. But Ethereum has actually been the star, and obviously we've moved out of the Bitcoin season into the altcoin season, and Ethereum has been the star of that and leading the way. And obviously Ethereum is compared to 2 or 3 years ago, Ethereum is a much more robust economic enterprise now with all the smart dApps. I think it's somewhere between 80 and 85% of the smart dApps and stuff on it that actually have real economic energy to them, and obviously with you've had big projects go on them, just like Hex, Wise, Axion, which I always talk about as the main staking tokens, and you've got lots of other different innovative product lendings on there as well. You've got Aave and all the lending platforms, Celsius and stuff like that. So there's lots of different economic values on there. that have been pretty big. So it's not exactly the same, and that's on the actual supply side. Then on demand side, you've obviously got institutions that have been slowly edging in. First of all, you had the crypto ones that were crypto dedicated, and then you've had, once the New York Stock Exchange last year got into it, you had that coming out. But then obviously once we start getting into the financial derivatives, they can sometimes take out the crypto. We've seen that before. So I can't remember the one that was just launched recently. That was the one. It seems like we fell just after that was launched, actually. Bitcoin started really pulling back. I just can't remember the name of it at the moment, but that was a big important play as well. And that also, those CFDs things can have big impacts. Let's have a look here. So, all right, we're sitting around here. We're just 46 minutes in. Still no ETH in there. Certainly quiet day. This is what happens. We've had about, I don't know, close to 2 weeks of momentum, excitement, blah blah blah. But then once obviously the market decides to have a red day, you get this sort of silent mode now, and the gas price still relatively high. Let's go down, scroll down to the bottom here. We can actually see the hourly there. And we can actually see this is the gas. This is when the market started pulling back and the gas price started really rocking up there. You can see we got a 253 average, but they were actually up about 350 to 400 Gwei in there. So we enjoyed our little. It was actually quite reasonably high through here. Yesterday was obviously pretty good down in the 50s. We haven't really seen the 30s and 30s and 20s. We had a 47 there. What else we had during the day, but pretty high otherwise. And then obviously the last few hours been extremely high. It doesn't bode well for an entry into the auction, but like I say, we've got 24 hours to a period, so that's going to be someone will just probably enter at different times rather than on the open. I'll just refresh this again just to make sure that we've got the latest data. I'm also watching the Quick and Matic because I'm trying to pick up more Ethereum from those trades. And it's working in my favor at the moment, so we don't want to miss that, but I'll check those in the next 12 minutes after I finish the live stream. Let us know in the chat if you're taking the opportunity to buy any more crypto at this stage with the pullback. Obviously buying cheap is always better, but obviously if you're nervous about the prices might go even further down, you're just waiting. Let us know if you're waiting. Just write the word wait if you're waiting. If you're buying, just write the word buy. You don't have to tell us what you're buying, but that'd be a bit of fun there to see that. Mr. Frost says altcoin season could start now as BT dominance below 50. Yeah, altcoin season's already been started. It's already been on for a few weeks. There's a nice chart, Mr. Faraz, that you can find that actually has the alt seasons based on the percentage of dominance and stuff. But you're right on the right track with that. Let's actually go to the dominance, check that out. I don't actually have the chart up. I'll try and pull that chart up for you. I just can't remember the link to it at the moment. But dominance at the moment, Bitcoin is 38.7, Ethereum is at 18%. And so obviously that's definitely altcoin season in that phase, I think. But what do we add to the market cap? So market cap's fallen below 2 trillion today with the pullback. We were sitting at about 2.1, 2.2. We're down under $2 trillion. There we are. That tells you it all. 12.6% down in 24-hour period. Whoa, amazing. 324 billion daily volume. And what else we got in there? That was interesting. What was I going to say about that? Yeah, I was going to say something else, but I can't remember now. Yeah, 38.8. So, yeah, we'll just watch that. Let's go back up to here. So, 50 minutes in, still waiting for some Ethereum. But like I say, we've got 23 hours to go after this. And you can definitely catch me on the other side when we do for the closing live stream, the sniping hour, as it were. And so pretty much we either have a sniping hour at the beginning or a sniping hour at the end. Typically they're typically at the end. It depends how you structured the auctions. But once again, the gas prices are still up 150 to 200 Gwei at the moment. So once they start to taper off, I'm sure we'll see some Ethereum start to enter into the marketplace. And we'll watch this auction. We'll watch the Axion price as well, 0002. That may have also weaned off a bit of interest with the market price falling back down to 0002. But some people may take the longer view, see that bouncing back, and so we'll look at that as well as we go over the 24-hour period. And once again, it's just one day, right? It's just one day today, so we'll take that into account as well. One day and a long day, 365 days of auctions and one day. You're bound to have a couple of days in those 365 that may be a bit different from others, especially when you have major pullbacks. Most of the major pullbacks, they always typically say most of the gains are typically made in 10 days in the year in crypto, particularly Bitcoin and stuff like that. It's typically a one day that the market moves up 10%, and other days it moves down 30%, sort of like that. And these are the big plays that typically happen amongst all the bear and bull market cycles. Yeah. So look here. So Cardano said buying and waiting, a bit of both. Nice one there, Cardano. And John Atkins, thanks for the analysis, Superman. See you in 24 hours. Hey, John, see you in 24 hours, 22 maybe. And yeah, look forward to it. Take care. Sleep well. So we've got a lot of people from the north. It's obviously typically pretty late in some places. And also Texas is like 2 o'clock in the morning. But Texas is famous for their multitaskers. And so, yeah. We're just catching that up. We've got about 8 minutes left in the opening hour. And we'll see whether something comes in there. Let's go quickly check the chat on Axion. And we'll jump down there and see whether people are making many comments about anything there. It's not today, not VCA. Defro says yes. So Defro is one of the two devs working on the version 3, I believe. So yeah, not updated yet. So that was the previous auction. So we're coming back up to here. Yeah, so it's not updated. Yeah, so nothing happening there. So if we click on here and go AES, you can see that the current. I've still got the old auction there. I'm not sure why that's not updated. I guess there's no bid because there's no bid in there. Maybe that's the case. We'll refresh this page. Maybe we're missing something with the API not refreshing. When in doubt, refresh the page. But once again, yeah, the auction discount's not showing there. Not sure why that is. It's a good question that John had earlier. Hope for the best, Patricia, says Mr. Farage. Hey, that's really nice, Mr. Farage. John Atkins says, wish I could sleep, just started work. John Robson says, cheers, Superman. Your pleasure. Wish I could sleep, just started work. Yeah, nice one. I guess you're watching on a mobile, John. Let us know if you're watching on a mobile or something else. Maybe on your computer at work. 6 minutes in, 32.29 ETH is what we need. The auction prices don't seem to be quite correct, so I'm sure that will update later. I'm not too concerned about that, but that looks to be the case. I tried to update it here, no update on the bot either, on the Axion Discord. Let's see where the prices are going. Hey, Bitcoin, hey, they moved over the key markets, 40,000 and 3,000. It's a pretty key psychological level. It's really a turning point, this level of prices. I think, but Bitcoin is definitely 30,000 is definitely a key point, 32,000. It's sort of like a 50% pullback. But Ethereum is really more bullish, so I'm a bit more bullish on Ethereum at the moment in any case. Just given all that's going on in the space. But as crypto matures, it's going to take over more of traditional banking and investments and finance. It's just inevitable. I can't see in those traditional firms are really late to the crypto land. They're really, I mean, some of them are starting to do stuff in house or get pulling and developers and stuff, but they're still really a lot of the innovators. Every person that's good at software that comes into blockchain and does even front end software development, UI, UX, all this stuff. Those guys can actually set up their own businesses on these blockchains, and that's what they're doing. That's why a lot of the teams are quite young. You get a mixed range, of course, but you get you got 14-year-old kids, probably 10-year-old kids these days that can program certain aspects of stuff depending on their expertise in the area. But it just shows you that the world really opens up with decentralized blockchains of what you can actually do with them. Obviously, people doing a lot of those codings can set up stuff. Obviously, in the crypto we see a lot of those hourglass things and all those sort of dApps that people try to make. But you've still got it hand in hand with those. Of course, you still need marketing, you still need distribution, you still need people to know about it and stuff like that. So it's still still big challenges. And obviously Axion, like everybody else, has the same challenges, but fortunately we have an awesome strategy and marketing team that's all doing some incredible stuff, big picture stuff, not just tactical stuff, but big picture stuff, and pulling in some big partnerships as well, and have a big vision to fill out, which is really nice. All right, we got last 5 minutes of the opening hour. We've got 23 hours to go after this, of course. A long way to go, and the gas prices, plenty of time for the gas prices to come down, and once they start doing, you'll see some ETH no doubt enter for this, and once the market quiets down a bit, that may be the case, but of course it is a day that we've had a major pullback. We've had a decent pullback in the Axion price. We've had high GWI, so we need to be pragmatic about those three variables on today's particular auction. But once again, we can be reasonably optimistic given the momentum that all auctions have had for a couple of weeks now at least. And the biggest awesomeness, of course, is the next mega VCA is way down now at 1.1 billion at the current amount, which is dramatically down from the previous one where we had, you can see here on the 14th was 1.9 billion, and then the previous Friday before that, we go back in time on the 7th of May, was 2.1 billion. So now we're down to 1.1. That's a very bullish sign for the VCAs, and also the VCAs pretty much been selling out for the most part, or near sellouts. So pretty awesome stuff happening there. And yeah, what happens? Obviously, also buying ETH. If you're using fiat to buy ETH, it's now cheaper. So people, if they're new investors and they want to get Ethereum, it's now much cheaper for them to get Ethereum and with their fiat dollars, and that would make them easier to become new investors in Axion. And obviously, we've seen a lot of that too. We've seen a lot of people upgrading from the crab size, the shrimp size, into becoming dolphins or bigger. So it's you can see that. Let's have a quick back on the activity. We can actually see that today we had this crab here upgrade to a dolphin. 76.3 million Axion, folks. They did that. $16,000 US. That is a decent sized investment, and they did 5 for 5 days. And here we had a shrimp upgrade to become a fish, and that was a pretty decent one, 5 million, and that's $1,000. So we're getting these size investors coming in. That's a very good sign indeed. So that's what we want to see, more and more of those. And obviously the marketing is targeted around that as well. Yeah, so that's what we're going to get. And once Axion version 3 comes out, you're going to have lots more people that have been holding off because of fees. Maybe they've got a big issue with fees, which we all do, but maybe they're particularly the fees, and now they're going to be come in and stake for $6, $8, maybe even as low as $2 or $3, or even lower. Who knows, depending on the GWI price. And that's a big game changer. Open up a lot of untapped energy or held back economic energy coming in with new investors that wouldn't have come in before, now coming in and trading in and out, maybe even doing shorter stakes. We might not just get max year stakers or long stakes. We might get people just coming in, staking, 7 days, doing lots of 7-day stakes. Hey, but if that's taking liquidity off Uniswap, then that's all good. But like I say, I think there's a couple of initiatives that can be targeted for Uniswap liquidity. So we'll just see whether they evolve as well, and how that plays out. But to watch the space on that, because I don't know if anyone had been thinking about that, but that is the case. John Atkins says, I hope I work from home. You're all on my iPad. Oh, nice one. I like iPads anyway. I think you probably heard my iPad story when I was one of the first people in New Zealand to have an iPad, and everyone was looking at me at McDonald's, and I was using the McDonald's free Wi-Fi. It was hilarious. I was like from the future. It was pretty cool. Of course, now it's pretty commonplace these days. Alex K, if the price stays this low in the last few hours, I might add a bit of ETH in there once again. Yeah, you might be a star if you put some ETH in there now, Alex, in the auction. I mean, yeah, it's interesting how quick and Maddox are not following the trend. Yes, I know, and we talked about that, and it's been bro. And I still think that Maddox worth about 14.5 billion. I think that was. I think they've still got quite a bit of way to go. Let me have a look down here. Maddox, Polygon, 245. Look at that. They're the only one sitting there green. It's all across the board, and it's 15 billion. I actually think that they can get up at some percentage of Ethereum value. So if Ethereum's at 350, it was 400 earlier, so these are all both down 50 billion market cap at Bitcoin and Ethereum. They were 400 and 800 earlier, and obviously Ethereum was 50% of Bitcoin, which is incredible. And people are still talking about the flipping, and I still think that's in play. Obviously, once we settle out, this might be a big shakeout, and rather than just a big correction, because the market's still not operating quite the way it used to. Because it's much bigger. There's a lot more economic energy, a lot more wallets, a lot more interested in institutions, investors. We'll just have to see how much that can actually, with the elasticity, pull back the market. But we'll watch it on that one. I still think that that's still got a lot of room to move quite higher. What would you say? What would you value it at? 10%, 20%? Obviously, you got Uniswap down here, and so. Uniswap's at 15, Matic sitting right next to, just up beneath the Uniswap. So how do you value that? And I'm sort of saying, well, Uniswap's expensive because it's got on Ethereum, whereas Matic's on the cheaper side. So you'd have to sort of say, well, could we not value Polygon more? And maybe we go up to, what's it, 30, maybe at least 10 to 20% of Ethereum. Could you say that? Maybe 10%, and that would put it at 35. So that's at least double the price at the moment. So maybe 2 to 3 times is that where you put Polygon. That's just interesting stuff there. Obviously, I knew when it was down at 10 billion, I thought, oh, that's easily going up to 15, and that's exactly what's happened. But yeah, and obviously, QuickSwap is sort of the biggest DEX associated to that as well. With all the incentives, the quick rewards are massive, and I think they've got a couple of years worth there. So Quicks obviously follows in after it. Typically, sometimes it does lead before, but typically it follows afterwards. And that's what we saw today. So some interesting stuff there. Anyway, I'm gas bagging about that now. But here's the auction. 22 hours. Catch me in 22 hours. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you appreciated, enjoyed that one. Not necessarily appreciated, but hope you enjoyed that one. Yeah, it was we'll watch out for 22 hours to go. We've had quite a day, and we'll see how the VCA responds to this today. But thanks for watching. I'm going to leave a little chat and a little thanks in the chat there. Once again, if you're new to Axion, subscribe, like, and share. Hit the bell for the notifications. There's lots of great videos on auctions, staking, even liquidity mining if you're into that. I'm not sure how far that's got to go actually, but I will check that. And there's lots of stuff coming up for Axion. If you want to get sweet wrap Bitcoin divs, Axion dividends, then buy Axion and stake it either into the auction, get all the bonuses, or buy on Uniswap. Either way. Good entry price at the moment for Axion, so nice one to pick up, and it'll bode well into the future. Lots coming up, and I hope you enjoyed it. All right, catch ya. See you guys later.